How's it going, guys? My name is Clay Boyer, co-founder of Mudlabs. I'm going to have my co-host introduce himself.
Hi guys, I'm Noah O'Donnell. I am a finance major and I am also a co-founder of Mudlabs.
We are a research lab researching the best way to do entrepreneurship from the years 0 to 5. With that, we're going to help startups and small businesses as well as individual entrepreneurs with their idea, developing their business. And all of the research that we gather from that, we are going to plug into this podcast and share it with you guys.
In this podcast, we are going to be talking about the public perception of entrepreneurship, what Mudlabs' perception of entrepreneurship is, and we're going to be giving you 3 tips to help you start a successful business in the second half of 2024.
So no, right now, a lot of the kind of cultural perception of entrepreneurship is that you should become the next Mark Zuckerberg or you need to become the next Jeff Bezos. But on an economic and cultural level, that's not really that sustainable. So what do you think that Mudlabs should have as far as their perception towards entrepreneurship?
So I think that is a very interesting point because obviously we can't all be Mark Zuckerberg. There are countless of entrepreneurs who are making a very honest living and being able to live independently. They're able to live freely and do what they're passionate about and provide value to their communities.
Yeah, and I think that kind of providing value to the community part is what a lot of people are missing in their corporate jobs as far as looking for purpose. And when they wake up every morning and saying like, what am I doing for the world today?
Yeah.
And I think that's something that entrepreneurship really gives to their individuals that are practicing entrepreneurship or aspiring to be an entrepreneur, is it gives them a lot of purpose and really drives them into what they're doing. So I want to kind of give you guys 3 tips on starting a business in 2024, in the second half of 2024, preparing for 2025. So the first tip that Mudlabs has put together for you is being humble and teachable. I think this is very important. Noah, do you have any ideas on being humble and teachable you'd like to
communicate? I think for starting entrepreneurs, it's one of the most important traits you can have. If you're not teachable, then you can't learn from the people who have had success before you. And there are so many entrepreneurs that have so much success that just want to teach and want to talk about themselves, honestly. And being humble, what do you think about being humble?
I think it's very important. I think that it's a very hard mix of being arrogant and confident enough in yourself that you're able to start a business, you're able to create real change, but then being humble enough to understand that there's a huge limit as to what you know, and understanding that the resources are out there to teach you that. But you really don't come to that realization until you kind of face that humility and understand that you're really limited on what you know.
Yeah, I feel like we've all met that person who is really good at something but extremely arrogant, and we don't want anything to do with them. So if you think about that as an entrepreneur, you want as many connections as possible, and if you are arrogant, no one's going to want to be around you. So
And I think that kind of leads us to our next point on when you are able to be around individuals and you're able to kind of build that network, making sure that providing value is the number one priority on your mindset at all times. My own personal experience, for about 2 years, I was building a business in animation in the creative space. Without really realizing that I wasn't providing a whole lot of value to the customer or to the people that I was working with in the creative space either. And so I gained absolutely no traction, and I felt lost in a lot of ways. And so when I was able to take that kind of raw look at my idea and say, is this providing value to anybody? I realized that it really wasn't, and it forced me to kind of decide to move forward into a different endeavor that was providing value. So when I say providing value, what does that kind of mean to you as a young entrepreneur?
Yeah, there's many ways that you could interpret it, but I think that providing something that a consumer base wants, that consumer base needs, one of those two. If you are providing something to the economy that is solving a problem, that's also another way to interpret it. And also, for me, this is a very personal thing, is the purpose that you feel like you're fulfilling. We talked about this actually for a long time in one of our business classes, and it was finding the right balance between value and purpose, and then money, and where those play, what part those play in a business. And I think we both had a similar conclusion that it needs to be like maybe 60% purpose, 40% money. Without the value, without the purpose, then you're not really doing anything.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we see in some of the really big businesses like we have today with Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, where at a certain point they provided value, but now they're almost turning into a little bit of a parasitical industry.
Absolutely.
Where it just kind of takes and takes and takes value. And so.
Yeah, you don't want to get me started on that one.
But there is important things and very useful things that social media provides, like networking, which is our third point, and it's extremely crucial. The phrase "it's all about who you know" is maybe the most important and most true phrases out there. So having a very, very deep network and meaningful network of individuals that you're able to bounce ideas off of and get support from is very, very critical. Noah, do you have any experience in what a network is able to do?
Yeah, absolutely. First on just a social level, the emotional support it provides you. Without a network, you're lost as a human being. Then as far as business goes, we're actually in talks right now for he's meeting my sister this week because she can provide value for him. And arranging that gives you a stronger network, and then he builds a stronger network, and from that we have more value to provide each other, and it just is it's just kind of snowballs after that. It's
exactly. And unlike a sales pitch, the connecting and the kind of networking that your sister and myself are going to be able to do is we're going to be able to align kind of our mindsets, align resources to provide value to the market. So there's not a situation where I have something to sell her or she has something to sell me. And I think that's very important in networking, that you make sure you're aligning and you're kind of coming together to collaborate and move forward to provide value.
It's very important that you're not taking advantage of someone also. If you're networking just to gain something and to rip somebody else off, it's not a sustainable solution, and you're not gonna be able to build your network farther. So I think it's like a mutualism idea. It's a concept that bases from the biology of mutualism.
There you go. Very well said.
Yeah.
So I would like to end it with that, guys. If you gained any value at all from this from this video, or you think that anything that we said rang true to you, you feel like networking is also important, I would ask that you join us for our bi-weekly Zoom networking event, where we get entrepreneurs and mentors and young founders together to kind of bounce ideas off of each other, get that support network, and then hopefully build some meaningful relationships that can come together for collaboration and providing value to the market.
See you guys next time.